All right, so welcome to the deep dive. On this show, we like to really get into the weeds, and we try to take like a whole bunch of information, right, and boil it down to the good stuff. The stuff you really need to know to get the gist, without like reading, you know, 50 pages or of a whole book or something like that.
Exactly. Yeah, we cut through the noise so you don't have to.
Exactly. So
Well,
today we're doing a deep dive into The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss.
a classic.
Yeah, we've got like a lot of notes and excerpts from the book, so we're going to try to like really understand, the main point of the book and like maybe apply some of the stuff in there to like, how to learn new things fast and efficiently. Because I think that's like a really good way to think about a lot of the ideas in this book is like how to get the most out of life and achieve your goals.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about maximizing efficiency and designing a lifestyle that aligns with your values and goals. So I think that's a great way to frame it.
Yeah, cool. So, one of the biggest things that Ferriss talks about is this idea of redefining wealth, right? He introduces the concept of the new rich, or NR, and it's not your typical like millionaire driving a fancy car.
Right. It's not just about how much money you have in the bank. It's about having control over your time and your location.
Yeah, so it's more about like freedom and mobility, being able to do what you want, when you want, where you want.
Exactly. It's about having the freedom to design your own lifestyle and not be tied down to a traditional 9 to 5 job.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely sounds appealing, to a lot of people. But it also kind of makes you rethink like what success even means, right? Because like you said, it's not just about making a ton of money.
Totally. I mean, a lot of people spend their whole lives working towards this idea of retirement where they'll finally be free to enjoy life. But Ferriss is saying, why wait?
Yeah.
Why not design a lifestyle that gives you freedom and fulfillment now?
Yeah, that makes sense. So, okay, so Pharisee, he lays out this kind of roadmap for achieving this new rich lifestyle, and he calls it the deal formula. So let's start with D, definition.
So, definition is all about getting really clear on what you actually want out of life. It's not just about saying, I want to be rich. It's about defining what that richness means to you.
So, like, what would your ideal day look like? What would you be doing? Where would you be? Who would you be with?
Exactly. It's about getting really specific
Hmm.
and creating a vision for your life that you can then start working towards.
Okay, so once you have a clear definition of what you want, the next step is E, elimination.
So this is where we start getting rid of all the stuff that's not helping us achieve our goals. And this is where the 80-20 principle comes in.
Oh, yeah, the Pareto principle,
Yeah.
right? The idea that 80% of your results come from 20% of your effort.
Exactly. So the goal here is to identify that 20%, the stuff that's really moving the needle, and eliminate or delegate the other 80%.
Okay, so that could mean like, getting rid of unnecessary meetings, automating tasks, outsourcing things that you don't need to do yourself.
Yeah, it's about streamlining your life and freeing up your time and energy for the things that really matter.
So decluttering your schedule, basically.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've defined what we want. We've eliminated the unnecessary. Now we're on to A, automation.
So automation is all about building systems that work for you so you don't have to be constantly working.
Okay, so give me an example of like what that might look like.
Well, let's say you have an online business. One way to automate it would be to set up an email autoresponder that sends out a series of emails to new customers.
Oh, okay. So that way you're not like manually emailing every single person who signs up.
Exactly. And you can also automate things like order fulfillment and customer service.
Okay, so basically you're building a machine that can run itself.
Right. The goal is to create a business that can generate income without you having to be constantly involved.
Okay, that makes sense. And finally, we have L, liberation.
Liberation is about using the time and money you've freed up through definition, elimination, and automation to create a lifestyle that you truly love.
So it's about being able to travel, work from anywhere, pursue your passions.
Exactly. It's about having the freedom to do what you want when you want without being tied down to a traditional job.
Okay, so one of the key strategies that Ferriss talks about for achieving this liberation is outsourcing, right?
Absolutely. Outsourcing is huge. It's one of the most powerful tools you can use to free up your time and focus on the things that you're really good at.
So it's about delegating tasks to other people who can do them just as well, if not better than you.
Right. And thanks to the internet, it's easier than ever to find talented people all over the world who can help you with just about anything.
Okay, so that could be like, hiring a virtual assistant to manage your email or a web developer to build your website.
Exactly. Or you could outsource things like writing, editing, research data, entry bookkeeping. The possibilities are endless.
So basically you're building a team, even if it's a virtual team, to help you achieve your goals.
Exactly.
Okay, so another really interesting concept that Ferriss talks about is challenging the traditional idea of retirement.
Yeah, instead of working for 40 years and then retiring, he suggests taking mini retirements throughout your career.
Okay, so like taking a sabbatical every few years or something like that.
Exactly, or even just taking a few months off to travel or pursue a passion project.
Okay, so the idea is that you don't have to wait until the end of your life to enjoy your freedom.
Right, it's about incorporating periods of freedom and adventure into your life on a regular basis.
And those breaks can actually help you be more productive and creative when you do go back to work.
Absolutely. Taking time off to recharge and pursue your interests can help you avoid burnout and come back to work with fresh perspectives.
Okay, so all of these principles, they kind of tie into this bigger theme of lifestyle design.
Yeah, lifestyle design is all about being intentional about how you want to live your life. It's about making choices that align with your values and your goals.
So it's about designing a life that you actually want to live, not just a life that you're stuck with.
Exactly, and a big part of that is being productive with your time.
Right, because if you're not efficient with your time, then you're not going to have the freedom to do the things that you want to do.
Exactly. So Ferriss talks a lot about time management techniques like eliminating distractions, batching similar tasks together, and using technology to automate or delegate tasks.
Yeah, and the goal of all of this is to free up your time so that you can focus on the things that really matter to you.
Exactly. And one of the best ways to free up your time is to create passive income streams.
Oh yeah, passive income. That's like the holy grail, right? Income that you earn without having to actively work for it.
Exactly. And Ferriss gives a lot of examples of passive income streams, like creating and selling online courses, writing and selling ebooks, investing in real estate, and starting an e-commerce business.
Okay, so the idea is to build a business or an investment portfolio that can generate income for you even while you're sleeping.
Exactly. And once you have those passive income streams in place, you'll have a lot more freedom to travel, pursue your passions, and live life on your own terms.
Yeah, I mean, that's the dream, right? To be able to make money without having to trade your time for it.
Exactly. It's about creating a life where you're not chained to a desk or a job.
Okay, so for someone who's listening to this and they're like, okay, this all sounds great, but where do I even start? What would you say?
Well, I think the first step is to really sit down and define what you want your life to look like. What are your goals? What are your values? What are your passions?
Yeah, I mean, that's that definition step from the deal formula, right?
Exactly. And once you have a clear vision for your life, you can start thinking about how to eliminate the things that are holding you back and automate or delegate the tasks that are taking up your time.
And then you can start exploring different ways to create passive income streams.
Right. And remember, it's not about doing everything at once. It's about taking small steps and making gradual progress over time.
So like maybe start by outsourcing one small task or automating one part of your business.
Exactly. And as you start to see results, you'll be motivated to keep going.
Okay, so to wrap things up, I think the main takeaway from the 4-hour work week is that it's possible to create a life that is both fulfilling and successful without having to sacrifice your freedom or your happiness.
Absolutely. It's about challenging the status quo and designing a lifestyle that works for you.
And it's about remembering that you have the power to create the life that you want.
Exactly. It all starts with taking that first step.
All right, so for all of you listening, I want you to think about one thing that you could do today to start moving towards that life that you really want. Maybe it's just spending 15 minutes brainstorming your ideal day, or maybe it's finally hiring that virtual assistant you've been thinking about. Whatever it is, take that first step and see where it leads you.
And remember, even small changes can have a big impact over time.
Exactly. All right, so that's our deep dive into the 4-hour work week. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for having me.